In continuation of the judgment that God released upon the culprits that violated his commandment, permit me to now present what punishment or judgment he rendered to the man. But before I do that, that last segment of the woman's punishment is very, very important, where God said, your desire will be for your husband and he will rule over you. Today, we'll say that women hardly exist without men in their life. Even when they pretend, that innate desire to have a man around you is natural. No one can avoid it. Even today, we have people who say they have identity crisis, and as a result, they are manipulating their nature and identity. Women among those classes still clamor for men in their life, only that they suppress it. But suppressing it does not mean an overcoming of it. Naturally, God said your desire must be upon the man or your husband. But the worst still is that the man will rule over you. This time around is rulership, not just dominion. Rulership is a little bit different from dominion, because ruler, it takes a wicked person to rule. Anywhere you hear the word rule, it connotes wicked person exercising authority. But dominion does not infer the same reason or the same meaning. Dominion, a good man can exercise dominion. That is exactly what Jesus did when he had his 12 disciples or apostles under him. He was domineering over them. All of them were submissive to him. He was exercising dominion over them, but he never ruled them. It is in Africa that rulership is the order of the day. And I want to challenge every political class in Africa. It is time we change the status quo. Let us move from the rulership mentality to dominion mentality. It is not the same thing. It is high time we stop oppressing people and start living to impact lives. Let's look at the punishment given to the man, or the judgment upon the man. Verse number 17 says, to Adam he said, because you listened to your wife and ate fruit from the tree about which I commanded you, you must not eat from it. Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life. It will produce thorns and thistles for you, and you will eat the plants of the field. By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken, for dust you were, and to dust you will return. That is the verdict, that's the judgment. Now let's look at the legal implication of this, and also the justice nature of God in this development. First of all, Adam was made to understand the offense he committed. In the case of many people that are in prison today, they never heard of the offense they committed. Do you know that in prisons today, all over Nigeria and many places in Africa, there are many whose case has never been visited for one day, who has never appeared before law court, much more of deliberating on their cases and getting them convicted and giving them prison sentence? Do you know that there are many like that? That is why this nation has to be very careful, because God is not happy with you. You are operating outside God's nature when God created you to be like him. How can human beings created by God be in prison, languishing without, first of all, being heard by a competent court? If you look further at this, you discover that when God called this man Adam, he stood on the, that is before the law court, and he said, because you did this, you did this, you did this, you did this, see what you are going to face because of that. And what was that? That brings me to all important statement we should take from this place. For some of us who believe in favor without working hard, let me tell you, There is nothing like favor from God without working for it. Can I tell you the meaning of favor? Favor simply means God smiling on your hard work. That is the simple meaning of favor. You can't sit down and gossip around. You can't sit down and become sycophantic, looking for those who will feed with lies in order to hate others so that you'll be compensated. And you want finally to be favored. Even when they give you a car free of charge because you are feeding them with lies against others, you come to testify that God has favored you. That is curse upon your life. God said, curse be upon you, Lucifer or serpent. And let me say this further. If you look at this judgment released by God here, you discover that curse was leveled on the serpent, but the woman never received curse from God. Read from different translations. The man never received curse from God. Instead, the woman received punishment as regard to childbearing, that you will now have serious pain while giving birth to a child. But God never cursed the woman. Number 2, when God faced the man, God said, cursed is the ground because of you. He never cursed the man. Why? The reason is very simple and obvious. God created man in his own image and values man to the core. If we look at it, juxtaposing this fact with what is happening today in African countries, how lives are being wasted as if human being is not relevant. It defies the laws of logic within human thinking domain. How can this be? A man was created in the image of God, and God was careful not to curse man, even though man violated his commandment. But today, we see lives being wasted, and presidents of nations where these things are being done are partying all over the places, traveling as if their office is in the sky. I want you to know that God of heaven, who created man in his own image and decided not to curse man even when man offended him, will one day bring you to book. And this same God who even formed you with blood and water, one day will bring you before the heavenly court, where you face eternal judgment, where no one will stand to speak for you. If you don't repent from this, how can you take human life for granted? Don't you know that the Creator equally valued the human life to an extent that he decided not to level curse upon human being when human being offended him? I remain Pastor Elisha, the rising voice in Africa and the reformer with a difference. Thank you for watching. Wait for my next video.